There's Major.
Yeah. Hi, Mater.
Hi, Major. Do you want to see this funniest car? Look at that one.
Yeah.
Look at that one. Look at that one.
They're pushing it around.
No, look at that squishy one. Look at that squishy one.
Yeah, well, let's take a better look.
That new car? That was a convertible.
That's right. Okay, let's put your book down. Bring it inside. Hold on.
Candy bar. I love candy bars.
You love candy bars?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't forget your book.
Oh, what's my door, yeah?
All right, I'll take your book.
Hey, do you see that funny? What's this hard?
Yeah, let's go look.
Okay.
Go.
Oh.
Go.
Hey, look at that funny one. Look at that funny one.
Yeah, that's more like a motorcycle than a car.
Yeah.
So what would the price tag?
Funny.
It's slightly more than the other.
That car is funny like Major. Major had to tell.
Oh, wait, there's another squishy car. That one's yellow. Okay, let's go inside.
Those cars are funny. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have to.
Here we go. Now we got the door open. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir.
Turn right. There's lots of people here today.
JD, take it away. Well, thank you. Good morning. This is great to see so many people here. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. There's people constantly saying, well, you should do more market studies, and we're not really sure if there's going to be interest in EVs, and it's sort of nice to, happen into these events where you really see, that all these people come out of the woodworks just to hear about it, just to learn something, because there's such a lack of really any information. I imagine a lot of you have probably seen some recent press announcements about Tesla Motors. I don't know how much people have really heard about what we're really doing, but this is just going to be a chance to go through an overview and sort of an introduction to the company and what we're planning on doing and what we have done so far. My name is JD Straubel. I'm the CTO at Tesla right now. I was part of the founding team there and one of the early employees. And I've been interested and involved in EVs for my whole short career. And I built a conversion electric car when I was in college and sort of lived through that whole experience and loved it. And this is just a great chance to really get involved in doing it again with all the resources and all of the new technologies to do it right. So this is just a quick outline. I think we'll take about an hour, talking through slides and just showing pictures and things like that. Hopefully a lot of questions from you guys. I'd love to try and stop early and just take questions and hear what people want to hear about. It's always hard to tell exactly what people are most interested in, whether it's charging infrastructure or time or batteries or safety or whatever. And then a parking lot tour, hopefully. My colleagues are on the way with a car, they promised me it'll be here, but it's not here now, so it's hard for me to guarantee it will be out there, but we'll see. And so just a quick outline of who we are and where we're at right now. We are an independent new car manufacturer. That's our goal. We're not trying to sell drive systems. We want to sell cars. And this is just the first model car, the sports car that you may have seen, and we plan others. We have several different facilities. We have about 100 employees right now and have been around for about 3 years, 4 months. We took a slightly different optimization point than the EV1, where really everything that was done in that car had to be done to get every extra mile of range. They had to, it was a brilliant engineering job, and they had to do that in order to get an acceptable range with a very low energy battery. Whereas the engineers, doing the design on primarily the drivetrain. We are not trying to reinvent brake calipers and suspension components and things like that. Those things are pretty well understood, and really our expertise and our focus has been on the whole drivetrain. From the motor, power electronics, battery. Those things are really where the critical technologies are. And we also have a facility in the UK, and that's where our vehicles are being assembled, is in Hethel in the UK. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then also a facility in Taiwan, where some of our subsystems are assembled and built. So, just recently there's been this surge of press, and I had about 20 people email it to me that morning saying, "Did you realize this is in the comic?" So, it seems like a strange day when EVs have made it into the comic strips, but it has happened. I think it's good press, although it's kind of hard to tell. And so just to start out, going backwards a little bit. This is a familiar picture. I think most people have seen this, but this is and new technology EVs really, I think, proves that the technologies have matured to a point where there's a whole culture of small companies that are nipping at the heels of this, and it's going to happen. I hope we're going to be the ones to do it, and I think we will be. But even if we're not, it's going to happen. All these are different vehicles. That on the far right is the Tango and the Venturi Fetish. Most people have seen the T0. But majority of these cars are still fairly far from volume production. And that's, I think, what it's really going to take to break into this and change people's perceptions of EVs. Right now, the EV1 has really defined what people see as an EV. Maybe the RAV4 to some extent too, but most people generally identify with the EV1 and think that's what an EV is. This is sort of a quick introduction to our car. We really aimed for something that was fun to drive first and foremost. We didn't want something that was, for instance, in this car, we're already certified and have already been on the road for a number of years. We also have a standard industry NPI process. It's called the new product introduction process. And we're basically holding ourselves accountable to an outside engineering firm to stop us at any point if they think what we're doing is not safe. And this is, we're really not conforming with safe automotive practice. And this was kind of painful to sign up to in the beginning because sometimes things go wrong and you really want to go faster and make quick decisions, but that was exactly what we're trying to prevent. So we wanted to make sure that if the program did slip and something did become difficult, there would be an independent party that could stop us and say, no, you've got to do this better. And we're doing full crash testing. And this is the first EV in a very, very long time that's going to be fully federally certified, FMVSS DOT certified. We have to crash over 10 cars, in various fully built, fully running cars to do airbag deployment tests. It's painful, and we actually did one just a few weeks ago, and nobody thinks it's more painful than the people that built the car. So we have a long list. But that's really what's necessary to make it real. We thought hard about the two different paths. There's a kit car approach where you try and basically bypass the safety rules and try and get in under it somehow. There's several ways to do it. Different classes of vehicle, different user assembly techniques, all this stuff. But to really build a brand that had staying power and to build a platform that we could expand upon with an even higher volume car, we felt it was just critical to go through the safety testing and actually fully certify the car. So that's added a lot of expense and time to the program. You ask, why is it going to be a year? You have cars running, why can't you sell them now? And a lot of that is really just test and validation of the platform and making sure that it meets all the regulations. And handling was another one. We wanted this car to really handle single cells. And this is pretty much what all home conversions do, almost what all other production EVs did. And it's a series string of very large cells. And there's a number of reasons why this ends up being really problematic, especially if you want to use lithium-ion as a new technology. And it always drives the cost up. Since you have a new product, you have low volume, so that makes the cost high. It's a non-standard product, so there aren't other people using it. It's not engineered into anything else, and that also makes the cost high. You have to pay for the entire new development effort, because it's usually hard to find other customers that would share that load with you. And it's also just a long time to get it to market, because you have to test and qualify a brand new battery. And this is kind of the path that GM went down with Evonik, essentially. And Evonik is a new company with a new battery that was only really serving GM and EV1. And those are shipping straight to our assembly line now. And so switching gears here a bit and talking about power, acceleration is something we really wanted to market also on this car. Range is key, but also having something that's fun to drop if it really has a lot of just horsepower in 0 to 60 time is really great, and that's something that we can actually get customers to be excited about. And there's a huge precedent in the car industry for paying more money for more horsepower. It turns out with EVs, of course, you end up getting the horsepower more or less cheap or free along with the range. And what you end up really paying for is the range, but the horsepower comes along. So now with our battery pack, we can get a peak electrical power of about 200 kilowatts out of it. And that's really where the power starts. And then we've also developed our own motor and power electronics technology. I saw there's a lot of confusion about how much our technology is based on what ACP had done. And we had an early relationship with ACP and licensed several of their patents. But what you see in the car today is very, very little ACP heritage. There's absolutely no parts that are coming from ACP. And we're basically, we worked with them in the early years sort of as an engineering contract house and took some of their great designs. Alan Piccone is an engineer there. He's a brilliant engineer. And has worked in this field for a very long time and came up with some interesting ideas. One of the things we licensed from them was reductive charging, is what they call it, which is a clever way of reusing the power electronics that are in the car driving the motor as your charger. So you don't have to carry an extra charger along, and you don't have to pay for the hardware and actually switching components to do that. But what's actually in the production cars and what we're actually building and selling is very much our own design. It's migrated quite far from what ACP did. And the motor itself is really an amazing thing. It's an induction motor. It's a 3-phase induction motor, and the whole motor weighs a little under 100 pounds, and it delivers about 250 horsepower. It's just amazing. Thinking about what DC brush motors do, it's a whole different world. I had worked a little bit with sort of the standard EV conversions and advanced DC motors and things like that, and the controllability and power density on AC motor is really well optimized. It's just astounding. And we can run this up to about 13,000 RPM and get full regen at all RPM ranges. Flat torque up to about 8,000 RPM. And we also have a transmission, a 2-speed transmission, which is a little bit unique. Most other EVs have been single-speed. And one reason we decided we really wanted to have 2-speed was to get above a top end of 80 miles an hour. there's a couple ways to do that. I mean, you can just change your gearing and make your top end, whatever you'd like it to be, but you sacrifice low end torque. And really, the right optimization point we felt was 2 speeds. One is basically a very high top end, high speed cruise on the freeway, and the other one is more or less 0 to almost 70 miles an hour, all city driving, anything you'd ever want to do in the low end. And this gives us a top speed of about 135, almost 140 miles an hour. And even though you wouldn't want to do it very long, most people just use it for bragging rights and go up there a couple of times or use it on a track, but that's about it. But this transmission is also pretty simple. We don't have a reverse gear, of course. The motor physically spins backwards, which saves a lot of complexity. We also don't have a clutch. It's electrically actuated, so it drives a little bit more like a paddle shift kind of car. That's a good analogy to think of. Here's a little bit more detail on the motor. That's a sort of close-up picture on what the motor looks like, along with some sort of short or power speed curves, so you can see sort of how that behaves. Also just a picture of our proud motor team there. And one of the most personal thoughts to be able to purchase a car sometime mid next year when we're actually going to be starting production. But after that, we expect the price to be closer to $85,000. And these are just some general numbers that we think we're going to be achieving. And these seem to be on track. I mean, we basically have firm orders for about 100 cars now. People that have put money down a year in advance of even having a car. Most of them never even got to drive the car, some never even saw it. So it's pretty amazing to have people sending in checks for saying, I have to have this. And I was trying to figure out exactly what to do with that and how to take advantage of it. But this is sort of the opposite of really embracing the customers and really trying to help and do what the customers want instead of the opposite of making it harder and harder to get the cars and turning people away and just making them unavailable. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting to see what happens when you take a totally different approach and embrace the EV customers instead of actually trying to hinder them. And this is just our entry into the market. We are actually already started on the second model car. I don't want to say too much about it now, but it's a sports sedan. I think that's kind of the closest equivalent. Comfortable for at least 4 people, maybe 5, and perhaps even 4-door. So it'll have similar range characteristics, a lower price point. I'm not exactly sure what yet, but it'll likely be under 70K, maybe even under 60, and still have fairly good acceleration. Not 4 seconds, but probably in 16, maybe under 6. We don't.
Your hands full.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but that's how the NRA gets new members.
Hey Arielle, can you sit behind the steering wheel? Can you sit up and grab the steering wheel?
Arielle.
Yeah.
Here, stand like you're driving the steering, like you're driving. There she is.
Yeah, shake the camera.
No, see your legs.
Oh.
There she goes, another EV princess.
Do you like this car, Arielle?
Yeah.
You want one like this?
Yeah. I get scared, but I like this too.
Well, Myers Motors are selling these. You can get on the list for one of theirs. 25,000.
I have way too many EVs right now. Yeah, I sold her to pay for the Tesla.
Down payment? I thought 85 to 100, right? Depending on what's.
Yeah, depending on the options.
Did you mention about the sedan model that's coming out?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, in a year?
Probably 2 to 3 years out.
You said least. About 40,000?
That was the goal, but they're still a long ways out. So
everything goes slower than one wishes.
She's driving. You know, he's really good at training young women to be race car runners.
I don't think our speed reaches the floors.
No, he's always had women drivers drive his race cars. She is just in seventh heaven.
Yeah, it's funny, there was the brown truck that was here. I don't know if you've seen the movie Cars.
The what truck?
The brown pickup truck was
Oh, right,
converted.
the Ford.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen the movie Cars, but she looks at that truck and says, "It's Mater."
Oh, that's good. If she saw mine, she'd say it was Doc.